creep allows your units to go much faster, particularly queens, which during early game, queens are very important to base defense, especially against Terran in particular.
Because you need a lot of lava to battle Terran. Because Terran can get out a lot of units, unlike Protoss. Like, you saw how many Marines I had. You can get out a lot of them, and you just need a lot of units to deal with that. It's not like you need a lot of really high-tech units, you just need more of them to really just sweep the army away.
Absolutely. But we're going to see, I mean, he's going, actually he's doing that 3 racks aggression that we were talking about. So this just goes to show that the 14-14-21 can hold that. There were mistakes made on both sides, but both builds are very, very clean, very, very clean cut, and can deal with each other quite well.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the pulling out of the roaches, one thing, low-speed roaches, don't get them off creep. That's a very bad idea. That hurts a lot. But really, one thing also to note, Veritas is expanding behind these at this point. This is a very solid move on his part. You'll see this very common, as I said before, when you make a push you want to expand. He did exactly just that. I've held that push now, so you'll look at the production. You'll see I have 5 drones in production. When you're playing a Zerg, you want to just keep droning as much as possible. We see another 6 drones, so 11 workers within 2 production cycles, and that's ridiculous. Look at the supply differential at this point. We'll even look at the income tab, and we'll see that it does show that I'm definitely ahead in the economy side. He hasn't expanded just yet, so we'll see that probably balance out a little bit, but definitely that is the power of Zerg macro. I think that other races really don't have that ability. And he sneaks by over here, which is really unfortunate for me. He gets all these behind here, and he smokes. Actually, never mind. I pulled them away. Good. I feel so Gosu for doing...
I got a couple of them here. I also got the Queen, which is a very big deal.
Yes. At the very best, use Queens for defense, but do not lose them. Queens are a very, very bad thing to lose in the early game, especially. And try not to lose drones. Losing drones is always bad.
Yeah. How many have I killed? I've killed 4.
Yeah,
not that many, actually.
Not that many. It looks like a lot more than that. I'm still working on my control as Zerg and trying to figure things out. As we've seen in the previous games, my control is probably not nearly as good as Veritas's, but macro can make the difference. And we'll see how this works out at this point. And once again, I love this play by Veritas, expanding behind it. And also he is teching. That is one thing I'm sure we'll love to go more in detail with. Behind this, he's going for a lot of factories. He's going to go for some Hellion aggression. And this is going to prove to be very powerful. Hellion aggression, for those of you that don't know, Hellion aggression, extremely
scary.
Extremely scary, particularly against Zerg. Because Zerglings don't do so well against it, and drones really do not do so well against it. I'm going to go... The great thing about being Zerg is you can just kind of go with a style. Like, I decided to go Roach, and then I decided I was going to go Infestors behind it. I could have gone many different things. I could have teched to Spire Tech, and gone for Mutas or Broodlords in the long game. But we'll get more into that sort of stuff later. But with Zerg, when you have money, if you feel comfortable with the composition, compositions are just merely a means of dealing with your opponent's build and also establishing a tempo. For instance, Mutas, while they may not do well against Marines, they can force the Terran to stay in his base. Now, I didn't go Mutas in this game, but they're still incredibly powerful. Now, did you have upgrades? That's something that might be worth mentioning at this point, is upgrades.
I did not. Which, really hot.
Yeah, as you can see, these roaches are 1-1 at this point, which means that they have an upgrade, or 1-0, excuse me. 1-0, they're going for 2-0 at this point. So, when you refer to upgrades, you usually refer to attack first and then defense is the second number. So they're +1 to attack, which means their attack is substantially much more powerful. It does cost you some money to get upgrades. However, when you have a large army, it pays off to have better upgrades than more units in the end of the day.
It's scary because...
I would say it's a 10% difference per upgrade.
I would even... Sometimes I would say it would be more.
It really depends on,
in PvP, Stalkers with, like, 1-1 Stalkers against 0-0 Stalkers. Like, you can have 25 against 15, and with decent micro, the 1-1 Stalkers can win.
Yep.
It's pretty scary. But what I like to mention is we both went for the builds that we were going to be doing in the build clinic today. I went for that 3 racks, and Septo went for that 14-14-21. And the 3-Rex is a super aggressive build. Like, you get out a ton of units. The Terran can really not get out any more units than I did at that point. So if this build held it against the 3-Rex aggression, it would hold it against anything, really.
Absolutely.
So it's a safe build. Like, no one on the planet has a build that just says, oh, I can beat that all the game.
Yeah. And I mean, really...
Talk about these Hellions, Septiel. Tell me how you like them.
I did not like these. I was just doing the best I could to defend my ramp, as you can tell. One thing to do against Hellions now, I made a huge mistake in not predicting that he was just going to loop around there with those Hellions. I did know he went Hellion, judging by the charred remains of those drones in my third. I was not pleased about that. You roasted like all my drones. So I just decided, at this point, I was deciding to all-in him and drone behind it. As you can see, I'm popping a ton of drones behind this. So I'm just going to go on a counterattack. Because I know in a base trade situation against Hellions, I'm going to win. Against Hellions.
Yeah, if I had tanks or something like that, no.
Yeah, if he had tanks, I would be forced to defend. So really, figuring on what your opponent has is something incredibly important to know, but also game decisions, deciding what you want to do against it. If you want to go, if he went siege tank, yeah, obviously I'm going to be forced to defend my base. And because siege tanks do marvels to bases when they have a free chance. But Hellions, not quite as powerful in destroying buildings. They do a fantastic job of destroying drones, though. Good econ kill by you.
Yep. It was, I lost that game. My Terran transition is terrible. But one thing to note about that, especially about the Zog build, it's really hard to find Zog builds. I think we're really going to just have Zog strategies. And a lot of what we're going to be doing on the build clinic is how to react as Zog.
Yep.
Because Zog will scout.
Zerg is about, game sense is incredibly important for Zerg, more so than the other races, I would say. You need to be able to figure out what your opponent has on the map.
And that's exactly why in the lower leagues, like bronze to gold, players just, like, there's
I think there's less Zerg, yeah. Yeah, there's less Zerg, and
it's just harder to play.
It is, and I would also like to say that the macro of Zerg is also much more micro-intensive. You have to deal with injects, with creep spread, which is very important depending, especially on what units you're going. Hydras are useless unless you have creep spread, pretty much, for instance. And Overlord placement, being able to know when to drone and when not to. Map control is immensely important to Zerg as well.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about those, absolutely, when we get into the later phases of the show. But I don't know if we necessarily have to exemplify this build again, because we actually showed you a game of the actual mechanics of it and how it transitions into other things.
Yeah, definitely. It was a fun game, and I threw a lot of weird stuff at you, and like, you're never going to see a player probably do that against you, like mass Marines and the only Hellions kind of deal.
Yes.
But you can see just how random your opponent can be, and it will still hold it off. If you have, like, decent information.
Which is key. You will note that I didn't do the best of jobs with scouting. His Hellions completely surprised me, for one. If you guys couldn't tell, it really did surprise me. I was like,
yeah, but he didn't have any, like, I didn't have anything else to, like, he just was like, oh, okay.
Now, if he'd had Banshees out, it's been like, oh no, GG.
Yeah, I probably should have gone some of those, huh?
Yeah, Banshee's very, very powerful against Zerg, in particular, I would say. And also against Protoss, I would actually say. TBT, they're good for getting macro up, but I wouldn't say they're the best unit on the field at that point. That's like the siege tank, the Thor, the Marine, yeah. But anyway, I think that this is probably a good time to open up for questions. I don't think that we have any other replays. I think we're done with those. But any questions, whether about the builds in particular, any questions about that, or whether or not, anything about the show, about our experience as players, anything at all, I'm totally open to answering any of those questions.
Yeah, definitely the same. And viewer numbers? Meh.
Meh, but that's okay. Hey, we had almost 10 viewers earlier on, so...
yeah, we definitely did. I think something called the National Championship
is drawing a lot of viewership.
Football, kind of. Because I know...
and Day 9, I would like to add.
Yeah,
and Day 9.
A couple of buddies on mine of StarCraft that I knew, they actually messaged me like, the game started. I was watching the stream, but not anymore. Sorry, but
Alrighty, but it doesn't look like we have any questions, but I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Veritas, for, once again, you're my hero for being able to help me with this. I really appreciate everything that you're doing to help me. And really, this is not even helping me. We're doing. There we go. That's the right word to say. Sorry.
Yeah.
As I mean, not as I say.
That's right. It's definitely. It's really exciting to be doing this show every 3 days a week. Commitment like that, and really planning things out, and really trying to put out really good content.
Absolutely.
This week's gonna be pretty basic, but I can guarantee you, the weeks to come, and especially the months to come, it's only gonna get better within the year.
And it's only gonna get more and more advanced, and hopefully be able to help you guys get up those ladder points, and hopefully one day see yourselves in Masters, or at least much more successful than you were before. That is my hope and my dream for all of you out there who are watching. And I just want to say that what's important most especially about this game, the education of this game is most importantly, but if you're not having fun, then you're not playing it right. You need to be out there having fun. That is the key to this game, is to have a passion and a love for it, and to have fun while you're doing it. I don't think I would be where I am right now if I wasn't having fun.
Yeah. That's been actually one of my issues. I get so caught up in training when I have a big tournament, or when I have some practice games against some grandmaster players, or when I'm just like really focusing on getting really good at the game and trying to go pro kind of deal. It's tough. You get bogged down in the details, and you just forget to have fun, and you just lose your passion for the game. I remember I had this big Austin LAN tournament that probably some of you saw. And I trained so hard for it. I placed pretty well. But after that, I just realized a lot of that training wasn't very fun. And if you lose your passion for the game, like I did maybe a month or two, you just don't really want to play 1v1 anymore. And we're going to come up with some builds, we're going to come up with some strategies, we're going to come up with just an outlook on playing the game. Like Bronze to Masters, we're going to teach you how to play the game in your own style. Because I know a lot of players that have really good ideas that are just like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do mech and TVP. You can't do this composition. But really, we're going to be teaching you how to play StarCraft your own way, and how to have fun and success while doing it. Because any unique strategy, you're going to be able to find a way to beat things. That's one of the great things about StarCraft. There's so many multiple different paths. Sounds so like modernish, like this many paths to the truth of winning games. There's a different path for everyone, but seriously, like if everyone played the same, or if everyone,
it would be boring.
Yeah,
it would be boring.
So we're not going to tell you how to, like, this is what you have to do. We're going to use suggestions and
yeah, and absolutely. If you have games that you would like to have analyzed, we're totally open to analyzing those. If you have any questions, please, as I said before, email us at septeel@yahoo.com. CEPTEEL. It's sometimes a confusing spelling, I know. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming out, and I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves. Any last words, Veritas, before we shut things down?
Watch on Wednesday. It's going to be
awesome. Good. It is going to be good. I am super pumped for this Wednesday.
Bronze to Masters. I almost want to put out a guarantee that you can get Masters in a year, but then again, that just takes a lot of time and a lot of games. If you don't have that much time, you might not be able to make it. But anyway, hopefully Bronze to the skill level of Masters. But I'm done.
Alrighty.
So,
hope you guys
are watching.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you guys, and once again, see you on Wednesday when we'll be bringing the Bronze to the Masters for you. And check us out then. Please feel free to follow us on Twitter, Septeel or True StarCraft. And keep coming, and please tell your friends about us. We would love to be able to help as many people as possible. So this is Septeel and Veritas signing out, and we will see you guys Wednesday.
See you guys.